Hello.
Hey, hi, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm good.
So yeah, by way of introduction, I'm a software engineer at Microsoft. The
Mm-hmm.
team I'm on, what we're doing is that we're building a container to run SQL Server inside of. That way, SQL Server can run on non-Windows platforms without changing the application source code too much.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about myself. What's your background?
So I have done my master's here and I've graduated like 6 months back. So right now I'm working in a fintech company in New York.
Hmm.
So I'm looking for a switch to the West Coast for personal reasons. So yeah.
I see. Okay, cool, cool. So in terms of today's interview, what I have in mind is to treat this like a mock phone screen for Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask you questions of the same difficulty, hold you to the same standards, and at the end of it, give you feedback. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Okay, cool. So if you could go ahead and pick your language, let's get started.
Sure. I'll be picking Python. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So what we're going to do first is basically look at a list manipulation problem.
Okay.
So given a list of integers, L,
Mm-hmm.
find the maximum length of a sequence of consecutive numbers that can be formed using elements from the list from L.
Okay. Can you give an example?
Sure. So the idea is that, say, we are given this array 5, 3, 1, right? And then let's put like a 99 here
Okay.
and a 100 here. So here you have two sequences to choose from, right? The 99 1 through 5 and 99 and 100. And you take the length of these, right?
So it doesn't matter in which order I choose the numbers, is it?
Um, well, the numbers have to be consecutive, right? So
Okay, so I'm just wondering how you got 1 to 5 over here. So
because you have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your array.
oh yeah, so I'm asking if is it necessary that the numbers had to appear in the same order in the array? Because in this case, I mean, the numbers are out of order, right? So is it fine?
Yeah, yeah, the numbers, yeah, the sequence, the ordering of the numbers in your array does not matter. Let's put it that way.
Okay, okay, cool. Okay, question. Right. So I guess since you mentioned, I mean, the first approach that I can think of is just sorting the entire array and just going through the array one element at a time, and I can keep count of the sequence. That's the first approach that I can think of right now.
Okay, that would definitely work, right? But
Yeah,
can you
that
do better?
yeah, yeah, that would work. Yeah, but that's going to be of n log in complexity. I'm trying to think if we can do it in a linear time.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking of using some other data structure to store the number of store the elements that I've visited. Let's say I look through this array, and I store 5, and then I come across 2, but then when I come across 99, I have to store somewhere else. Okay, interesting. Maybe I guess I can start with I can have like 2 pointers. I'm thinking, but again, okay, so the problem is when I encounter a number like 99, I have to figure out that it's a part of a different sequence and not the same sequence, right? Okay.
The thing is, each number, right, that you have, it can only be part of one sequence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So maybe, hmm. So I have to find which sequence the number falls in, right? Okay.
Or you have to find the sequence itself and then mark that number as visited, and you never have to visit that number again.
So okay, so let's say I have 5 now. So I have to find out which.
So one approach that would make sense is to start with the number, right?
Yeah.
And then do a search, and then do a search for numbers before it and after it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, so it's for each number, then I would be doing that, right? Okay. So for example, if I have 5,
But
now
that's
I'll,
secondary. Hold on, that's secondary though, right? What
yeah,
that's what we would need to do. So I guess your concern about that is that if you do it for every number, it would be n squared, right? That's your
exactly. Okay.
But the thing is, it doesn't need to be, right? Because here you would be using the other property that the numbers have to be consecutive. You don't need to iterate through the entire array, right? So for 5, you would only look for 6 and 4. Then you would go to 6 and look for 7, right? And you would go to 4 and look for 3, right? So if you could do that in constant time, that would be great.
So I guess what you're saying is once I find a 4, I don't come back to 5. From 4, I go back and look for 3.
Right.
Okay. So from 3, I can go back and look for 2. Okay.
So what? So I guess the question then becomes, a list won't give you that, right? So from a 4, you cannot go to a 3 without doing a linear search
Exactly. Yeah.
in a list.
I guess.
So what
Yeah.
data structure would give you that constant time lookup?
Yeah. So I have to use like a hash map, right, to store the indices of the numbers.
Hash map or hash set? You have to be careful here.
So hash set would just tell me if the number is there or not. So I guess that should be fine because I don't actually have to go to the index of the number, right? So I
Right.
guess I can store it in the hash set and just look up if the number is there or not.
Right. So that's the first part. Then what do you do? Once you've visited that number, then what do you do?
Okay, so let's say, so let's say I'm at 5 now, right? Okay, so I'm at 5. So I look up for 6 and 4. Okay, so now let's say this is a set that I have, set of all numbers. So I look up for 6 and 4. So now let's say I find 4 in this case. Then I have to look up for 3. And I have to keep going so I have to increment my length of my sequence. And then I have to keep going until this condition returns me a false. And then once that happens, okay, so while doing that, I'll have to make all my nodes as visited. All the things that I go through will be visited. So here in my set, I can just basically remove it from this original array, I guess. Or just make it visited actually, yeah. Instead of removing it, I'll make 2 as visited, and then I'll be 99. So I think I'll look for 98 and 100. Once I find 100, I'll look for 101, and I'll just keep going that way.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that will definitely work, I think.
Okay. So do you want me to code it out or?
Yeah, let's write the code for it.
Okay, awesome. Cool. So initially I'll have visited. Can have that as an array too actually. So visited will be false. So initially all the elements are false. Now I can. So is it okay if I convert the initial array to a set? Or,
Is it okay? Like, I'm okay with it, but why would you do that? And if so, how would you do it?
no, I'm saying if it can I modify the original array or should I like copy it into a new set? Is that what that's what my question is. Is it okay if I
Why would
modify?
you modify the original array, right? That's my question for you.
Sorry, you're asking if I
Why
want
would you need to modify the original array?
because I want a constant lookup time, right? So I want it to be a set.
Right, so you can create a set without modifying the array, right?
Yeah. So yeah, my question was if I can just okay, cool. Because I thought in Python you can just do it as a set of array or something to convert it into a set. So okay, I'll just create a new set then.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, you can do that, right? Yeah. You can do set of, you can put this array here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what my question. Okay. Cool. Sure. Okay. So now I have this. So I have our set. So now I have to look through my elements. So now I'll have to look for if. So I have to make visited first. So visited of I will be true. So all this will happen if. Yeah, so now visited of I is true. Now I can. So I have to look up for I minus 1 and I plus 1. So if so I have to have a length too. So now if my current element plus 1 and then I have to have a lookup for that. So I have to continue this process. So it means I will do visited of visited of ARR of I plus 1. Okay. Push through. And then I have to continue my search. And length plus equal to 1. Then I'll check this.
So will doing a single search be enough? Like, will doing a single check be enough?
I'll have to check if the I'll check for both plus 1 and minus 1 if that's what you're asking.
No, that's fine. But what I'm saying is for any given element, I thought we agreed that we would do an exhaustive search. We would.
Yeah, so I have to update my I have to continue the search is what I'm trying to do. That's what I was going to do. So for example, I found 4, now I have to go to 4 and I have to continue
Right.
this.
So how would you continue that search? What do you have in mind?
I was thinking of having another data structure for this. Say stack or a queue, and I can keep putting it in the queue like a DFS basically.
You don't need. Okay, so the data structure, you already have the count already, right? And you're marking your visited array to be true.
Oh,
So I
okay.
don't see why you need a different data structure. What you need is to basically look for the other elements, right? So essentially, what I'm saying is this
I
array
can
plus
modify
count.
the I value, right? Something like that. I can make I go to.
Well, not your I, right? Because your I is for the main loop.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So if I find this element, now I make this element as true. Now I have to continue this, do the same process for ARR 5 plus 1, right? Okay. So
If you just convert the if condition on line 20 to a while, what would you get in that case?
oh yeah. So I guess then in that case, as long as it is in the set, I'll keep doing, and the length keeps updating.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I guess I can do that. Yeah. So similarly, I have to do for.
No, will this be enough?
Yeah. I'm just. Yeah. Okay. So okay. Let's say I have 5 now, or
No,
yeah, that's 2. I'm in 2. So I'll go to
I'm
3.
just saying that your array at I doesn't change, right? And you would need to do the same for your backwards.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. I think I get what you're saying. So okay, so yeah, so basically for 5 now this will do for 6, 7, and 8. So now I have to do something like backward will be arrow minus 1, and just do the same thing for backwards.
Should be forward.
So this should be minus.
No,
I can just
I
change
guess
it backward
I just
actually.
need right.
Yeah, it should be backward. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I can check if the node is already visited. I can break out of this loop too, right? So if let's say,
No, hold on. We discussed this, right? The node will not be visited.
sorry.
The node will not be visited, right?
Yeah, if it is, I'm saying,
It will not be.
I guess for 5 it will go to 6. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, because it has
No,
to come.
the reason I'm being stringent on that is simply because if you don't really get that the node will not be visited twice, right?
Yeah, I
Then
mean, yeah, it's not going to
then
be
you cannot guarantee that your algorithm will run in linear time.
yeah, makes sense. Okay.
So if you agree that this is linear, then you shouldn't have to make that check. If you make that check, that tells me that you don't understand why this is linear.
No, yeah, I think I get what you're saying now. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, so
What do
basically,
you need to do next?
yeah, so I guess okay, so I have to update the max length, right? So I have to have max length. So now I have to. So I guess once one entire thing is done, so let's say was this entire thing is done, I get the length of one consecutive sequence, right? So this is where I'll be updating my max underscore length to max of, and then I'll make length to 0. Because this means I guess I'm done with one entire sequence. So now I guess I can just return max length.
Okay,
Yeah. So I
simple.
can, this should work, yeah. Let me just call the function.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about that. So what's the runtime of your function?
Yeah, so this would be O of n, where n is the length of the array, because we are gonna go through each element once.
And the space?
So space is, so I'm using another visited array. So I guess That's the only extra space that I'm using. That's for each element in the array, so it's going to be O of n too.
Okay, cool, cool. So I'm going to end the interview there, but I would love to give you feedback.
Okay.
And before I do that, do you have any questions for me?
Uh, so is this like the optimal solution that we can go through, or is it like the better solution than this?
Well, this is the most optimal solution.
Okay.
Right. You cannot do better than O of n, right? Because you have to find the
In terms
sequence.
of space, I'm asking. I guess I wasn't clear. In terms of space.
For space, no, I don't think you can do better. This is the most optimal.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Uh, yeah, that
Right.
should be. Yeah. Thanks for your
So I
time.
think, so I think overall you did well, right? I think overall you did well. I think you needed a lot of pointers, right? Which is my main reason for terminating the interview early.
Okay.
Um, so I think, it wasn't clear to me that you understood the intricacies of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The fact that you were doing checks everywhere that told me that you weren't convinced about the runtime, right?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I was a little confused about the part initially. Yeah.
so these are essentially in terms of solving the problem, these are red flags, right?
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that if you are writing the code for a solution, if you've
Mhm.
committed to a solution, right? The idea is to sort of be convinced that the solution will run in certain time bounds or space bounds. You don't want your time bounds or space bounds to change as you're writing the solution.
Okay.
So I guess what I'm saying is, what you need to convince yourself that the runtime is linear. You need to have a proof in your head that the runtime is linear. Why is it linear? And the space is O of n or something, right? You need to have that first in your mind before you even write the code.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then the implementation would be how do you implement your function so that happens.
Okay.
The fact that you did it the other way, that's a big red flag.
Okay. So
You
is it
don't want
okay that I have to have like initial pointers at first, or is that a red flag too?
No, the initial pointers were fine, but the fact that I had to help you with the while loop, for example, and the if condition, those were big red flags. Initial pointers were fine. Like when you're thinking about the approach, it's natural, and this is not an easy problem by any definition of easy. In fact, this is actually a difficult problem, hard problem on lead code. Right? So I
Oh.
wouldn't say this is easy, but I think you had the solution from the very beginning. So I was surprised when you were doing the stuff that you were doing. Right? So I think like from the very beginning you had the solution,
Mm-hmm.
right? With a little bit of help, I think you had the solution. But then that would have been fine. But implementation-wise, I think when you started doing the things that you did, like with the if condition and things like that, that's those were red flags, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the feedback. It really helps actually.
But overall, I think like problem solving wise, I think you had the solution. So the feeling I'm getting at my end is that in terms of solving the problem, you have it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you were struggling with basically handling the stress. I think if you were thinking clearly, then you wouldn't have gone with the if condition or done that check or things like that. If you were solving this problem in a different environment, right?
Okay.
The fact that somebody was looking at your code, was watching you and things like that, I think that really affected um, your ability to reason through the thing, right?
Uh-huh. Okay.
And so what that tells me is that the issue is not with your problem solving skills, but more with how you handle pressure in an interview situation,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
It may sound harsh, but actually, if you think about it, right, it's, first of all, it's just like there are no consequences, so it's just words at the end of the day. But more importantly, I would say that, it's nothing that can't be fixed with enough practice.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
I would say that I would recommend that you sort of, record yourself maybe, right?
Mm.
And go through like a bunch of these problems and sort of identify the areas where, you can do a better job.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I guess taking these in mock interviews that's actually helping me getting there. So.
No, but then that's the thing, right? So these mock interviews, you can probably do two more, or you only have three mock interviews on this platform for free, right? And
That's
with mock interviews, I'm
actually this
sorry.
is like fourth interview, I guess.
Hmm?
This is my fourth or fifth interview, I guess.
Oh, really? Okay, okay. Well, the thing is, like with strangers, they're too harsh. With I don't know. At least I find that once I have a standard to aspire to,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the best judge of my skills and things like that. But you may feel differently. I mean, that's there. There are many roads that lead to Rome, right? As they say. So it should be fine.
Okay, so which method would you suggest? Just to like record myself doing a coding problem and then going through what I did wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So I would do that like at least once every day, right? And then once a week, I would interview with somebody else and see if I'm improving, because
Okay.
that's the key to improve. Not to sort of be perfect on day one, but to realize where you are and then sort of just take it step by step. Hit a number and try to beat that number every time.
Okay.
So, like in terms of time management, you solve this problem in 20 minutes. Can you solve it in 15 minutes, for example?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Things like that.
Okay.
But yeah, don't let this discourage you. It's just feedback. It's a process, so just stay the course, and I think you're on track. So I wouldn't be too worried about that.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot for the feedback. It's really
Yeah,
helpful.
no worries. Any other questions?
No, I think that should be all.
Cool. Well, have a nice day. It was great talking to you, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah. Thank you. You too. Bye.
Take care.